Well, welcome with our new music intro that we've got. I didn't comment on it last week because we kind of added it after after we recorded, and I was like, you know what? I can't find the old music, but we have new unapologetic podcast music.
Awesome.
Which is fun. So hopefully you guys are enjoying that. And episode 2 of the semester, Jonathon, we're rocking and rolling.
We're here. I mean, right now behind Brandt, you can't see out in the Union, all of our Welcome Week leaders are here, and they're actually getting breakfast, and then they're going off to some training. But the semester's here. We've got football's already moved in. Fall sports, a lot of fall sports have already moved in. Last night, Gina and I had a chance to go out to a campsite out near one of the lakes in the area and spend some time with our cross-country team. Coach McElhaney takes them every year, get off-site, go camping. They praise God together. They pray. He gives a devotional. Then they're up this morning. I think it's 6:30 running. But just to see them, they're here. Soccer's here. So many others. Yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, I had a chance, or the night before, I guess, to see our club sports, our inaugural club sports teams coming together for a little banquet. Got to speak to them. Yeah. Res Life staff's on. It's just so much energy. And then tomorrow, Friday tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow's Friday.
Yes, we tend to record these kind of a week before we publish. So today's Thursday, the 13th. Tomorrow's Friday, and it is
move in, check in for all of our new students.
Hundreds of students.
And you've got Welcome Week that kicks off, and Sunday returners come back. So it's here. Semester's here. There's no rest for the weary, I guess. Here we go. And I'm excited. There's a lot of energy in that room right now and on this campus.
Yeah, it's great. We're still working in the admissions office, getting new students here every day. There's new ones that apply, and we're trying to get them here on campus. And then, as you know, many people across campus are working hard. We've launched in the last couple of years some master's and doctoral programs in technology and STEM-related fields that really draw an audience of international students that are studying here and trying to work here. And we've got hundreds of applications for that we're working through as well, which is a lot of work.
It's amazing that, semester starts and you can still add students up until when?
Well, for like that STEM program, the graduate programs in particular, we have a second start date, September 9th. So we'll still be pulling people in through the first week of September. But ad drop, you have every school's got an ad drop date, and ours is, Tracy Manley will kill me if I don't get this right. I think it's the Tuesday after the first day of class. So you got about a week that you can still get in. And you put that in because you could keep adding people through the third or fourth week, but they've missed so much by that point that's detrimental to them and to the class. So you got to put a hard stop on when they can come in. But
exciting.
It's happening. We're here.
Yeah.
So in the past, we would try to throw in like a fun little icebreaker, which we'll still do fun things, talk about fun things. But you had a good idea this week. This podcast operates under the Center for Worldview and Culture, and we do talk about a lot of things that relate to that, but maybe we build in sort of a standard standing comment about worldview, culture things. So that could be things that we're reading, things that we see in the news. And so a couple of the things that we were talking about this last week that fall in that category, I thought were interesting. In particular, the one I was wanting to mention was the University of Michigan. If anyone sort of follows, this is kind of a broad news. It's not just higher education news, but they're introducing a thing this fall where they're not going to do letter grades for new students. I think it's just the first semester. I'd have to read it again. Might be the whole first year. They're just going to give them a pass-fail. Now, I don't in practice have an issue necessarily with the policy, because if you graduate college, most people don't care what your GPA is. Your letter grade is important in the sense of how did you perform, but I could kind of maybe see some merit to the policy. But the reason for the policy is kind of the part that's definitely interesting.
To lighten the burden of college and
to help them address mental health concerns.
And mental health concerns are real concerns.
Absolutely.
Yes. And we believe that this generation, I mean, we've both read the book, Jonathon Haidt's book. It's a few years old now, The Anxious Generation. I actually was talking to a student group day before, my days are getting mixed up, and just reminded them, this Res Life staff, hey, you're going to be working with what some people have called the most counseled generation and yet the most anxious generation. So mental health's a real issue. Anxiety is a real issue. and we need to be prepared to help kids through those things. But the policy that the University of Michigan is introducing, I think, will actually backfire, because one of the ways you help people prepare for a fallen world, one of the ways we help students and children, people who are developing, prepare for the complexities of life, the chaos of life, is to stress test them. That you need to be stress tested. You need to go through some things in order to be ready to step into more stress, right? And so just take nursing, for instance. If you can't handle the stressors here is a relatively safe, controlled environment, if this is too much, what are you going to do when you walk into an emergency room situation, right? And so I don't know that alleviating all the pressures is the best answer to prepare, shape, form mature men and women who are ready for the world. So I understand what they're trying to do. They're taking mental health seriously, which we should, but their remedy is to remove one of the things that God uses to prepare us for a fallen world, and that is put us through stressful situations, put us through hard things, to refine us, as the biblical writers might say, by fire. Right. And so if you remove all that, I actually think you're working against the formation of a holistic individual.
Well, and they're going to go into, we're going through it now. We're doing performance reviews with our team. So they're all going to be entering into professional areas where there's going to be feedback, where there's going to be judgment on how they're doing in their job, where there's going to be evaluation of the goals that they have for what they're doing. And if they're not prepared and have been in a process where they, get told on a range of things how you're doing, so grades there's a range. Reviews, we usually have like 1 through 5 scale. Lots of places do different things. And so I was just thinking of that too. I mean, if I'm giving feedback to a recent college graduate and telling them that, hey, you didn't do this as well as you could have, or here's some areas for improvement, like constructive criticism. We're not trying to destroy someone's self-esteem, but if they don't have any grounding in how to receive feedback or to deal with the reality that they might not be perfect at everything.
Well, and I think that's the importance of the grade. Like, I actually don't think the pass-fail is super helpful because the grade tells you, I got a C. I'm not where I need to be in this subject, right? I got a B. Okay, maybe there's some room to grow. So I think the grading system is helpful. It shows you where you are. And just saying pass, fail, then you kind of lose a little bit of that constructive criticism. I passed. Well, you passed, but if we're telling you the truth, you barely passed. And so you need to know that. You need to know that there's some things you need to work on. So, I think I understand the concern for mental health. I understand the desire to help alleviate some stressors in students' lives. We take that seriously here, and we have pathways to help students work through the anxiety that they may have. But I don't think the answer is to remove the stressors in their life. And I think what the University of Michigan is doing, well intended, I just think it's maybe a bad move.
Yeah. So we could spend hours on all the things happening in college headlines.
There are universities out there that are dropping degree programs. There's a lot of that stuff going on. There's stuff in politics that we could talk about, but it'd be fun.
Take on so much. What we're reading, I think, is always interesting, and that may, ebb and flow because we might be reading the same book through multiple episodes, but we haven't talked about it in a little bit. I picked this up in England. You had mentioned John Owen a couple of different times. You were disappointed that we had a tour guide in Oxford who didn't know who John Owen was.
I don't understand how you can do that. I mean, he was at one point in the 1600s. He was the chancellor. He or the vice chancellor. And I can't remember now, but so he's one of the most popular Puritan authors. The Death of Death and the Death of Christ. Just talking about the atonement. His impact on Christian theology and intellectual thought is astounding, and yet this tour guide didn't know anything about John Owen, so I was bummed about that.
You were bummed. I felt bad for you. It was visible. So this I got this at Metropolitan Tabernacle, Spurgeon's Church. They have a library and bookstore there. So I'm kind of curious how they did this. So it's an abridged version of the grace and duty of being spiritually minded. So I don't know if you've read that by him before.
There are volumes of his works.
Yeah. So you've told me, like, oh, if you pick up Owen, it's really hard to read. So this is not really hard to read. They kind of modernized the language.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. It's almost reminds me of Luther. From what the opening said in this, it was during a time when he actually was out of ministry, was questioning his viability or his commitment, his almost to the point of Luther constantly questioning his salvation. I don't know if that was quite to that point, but he wrote this of just hammering home the fact that if your mind is not on spiritual things, if you're not thinking about Jesus, if you're not thinking about the reality of the cross, if you're not thinking about the joy of salvation, like that's a problem. Like you should have that as a constant thing in your mind. So this is just one little part I underlined was there's no way to strengthen faith but by a daily contemplation of heavenly realities. So that theme kind of comes through here. It's been very encouraging to me because like that's I constantly really stop and think like how much am I thinking about eternity?
Sounds like the writer of Hebrews, right? For the joy set before him, it's talking about Jesus, he endured the cross. So Jesus is looking through the pain, through the suffering, through the cross, and on the other side of it is joy. His heavenly Father, reunited at the right hand of the Father, the purchase of a people, and so through this world, how do we make it? How do we make it through the stress? How do we make it through the anxiety? How do we make it through the sickness? How do we make it through the hard stuff? Well, keep your, be a heavenly minded person. Set your eyes on the city that is to come. Set your eyes, your heart on the joy on the other side. And if you know Christ, that is Jesus himself, is God himself. And so, I think that strengthens us. The more we can be, the saying, what's the cliche? You're so heavenly minded, you're no earthly good. But I actually think the more heavenly minded you are, the more you dwell on eternity with Jesus, with the Father, that's before you, I think you'll be more earthly good than somebody who never thinks about those things.
Yeah. Good stuff. So I'm enjoying that. It's
good.
Yeah.
I'm reading books, but nothing like Owen right now. I'm reading a Self-Aware Leader, so it's a book on leadership, just kind of seeing your blind spots, which could be bad or good, like you don't see your faults, or you don't see some of your abilities, giftings. You've never really recognized, you're actually good at that thing, and somebody else may see it and say, hey, did you ever see that you actually have a gift here? You should cultivate that. So it's a Self-Aware Leader, just a little leadership book, and alongside of other things I'm reading for the classes I'm teaching, things like that.
Yeah.
And my Bible. I'm reading that all the time.
You still read your Bible?
Every day. Yeah.
Well, good stuff on that. So that'll be something we revisit. We'll constantly be trying to find things that we think are, relevant and important in that worldview arena. So the main goal of what we want to talk about this morning, this might be rapid fire. I mean, this is the start of the fall semester. There's not just students here, but there are events and things that are kicking off really fast, starting with move-in day tomorrow and the processional into the chapel and the bagpipes and kickoff meetings. So just wanted to walk through some of those so people kind of are aware and help us to start thinking through knowing that all these things are coming. So just starting with Welcome Weekend, there's a lot of big things coming up.
A lot of stuff. Well, even today, our DPT class in Springfield has orientation today and tomorrow. So as soon as we get done here, I'm going to drive down to Springfield and say hello to them and welcome them. I'm excited for our incoming Doctor of Physical Therapy students, this new class. And so even today, things are starting. Again, outside leaders are preparing. But tomorrow in the morning, this place that will be full of families that pull up here and start checking in, going through the different stations, getting your class or your course schedule, financial aid. Do you need help with billing, IT, safety and security, housing, all the different things that they'll do here. And then from there, they will eventually, after they move into their dorms, they'll meet their welcome week groups. So we put everybody that comes in, you get a welcome week group. And it's pretty cool years later to hear stories of friends that, we were in the same welcome week group and became friends. We got connected.
Now we're in each other's weddings.
Or getting married to each other, a guy, because they're mixed gender groups. Right. So a guy and a girl meet in a welcome week group, and now they're getting married 4 or 5 years later. So that all kicks off tomorrow. And there'll be various events. Saturday night, you've got the football scrimmage up on the field in the evening. Thank you to Mike Cribbs, a local businessman who's donated 200 pounds of beef, where we will grill out, cook out, and then just the community can come out. Students are all there. We watch a football scrimmage. So a lot of things like that going on. And then Sunday, we don't do anything in the morning. We want the kids to go to church and be involved in local churches. But then in the evening, we have an all-town meeting where all the students are returners and new students in the auditorium, where we just kind of go over some things for the semester, things to be aware of. And they come back over here, and we call it Reunion in the Union, where everybody gets to say hello. There's a kind of dessert reception, welcome back, people you haven't seen all summer, you give them a hug and move on. So that kind of starts this weekend, just packed full of emotion. Parents are crying because they're dropping their kids off. Students are excited. They're seeing their friends or meeting new friends or moving into a new dorm. They're setting things up, and just filled with emotion all weekend and a lot of excitement for students. So that kind of kicks it off. And you're up here, part of that.
Yeah, well, yeah. And in addition, we talked about the STEM programs before. We're going to have people up here all weekend helping those students get all their documentation set up so they're ready to come in. We got other graduate programs besides DPT that students are getting ready to start their classes, Doctor of Education, Master of Business Administration. So yeah, our teams are in full speed. And then we're constantly helping students. There's always sort of last minute documentation, even once they're here. We need transcripts or we need something else. That first week is a lot of still some paperwork and working with students. But then through that week, there's some new things. We've got a concert happening.
Yeah, 10th Avenue
North.
North. Great. Is that Tuesday night? I think it's Tuesday night.
Or Thursday.
I think it's Tuesday night.
Okay.
10th Avenue North.
I think you're right,
will
Tuesday.
Be here. And we'll have a concert. You can get tickets. Tickets are super affordable. We've got room for, I think, 1,200 or so people in the auditorium. So hope to see a lot of our students there and open to the community. So 10th Avenue North will have a concert. That's new this year. You have your community fair where community businesses, churches, different ministries will show up and set up over in the IM gym, and students are able to see. What we're trying to do there is like, hey, we want you to be plugged in to the community. You need to know where to go, get a bank account, or where to the churches in the area. You need a job, or you want to be part of something. Just wanted to introduce students to the community. And so that's always a lot of fun. So things like that are going on. And we close the week, there's other things in there, but we close the week with this really cool partnership with Convoy of Hope on Saturday, where we have the opportunity. We've done this, it'll be 4 years now, fourth time doing it. Where we give free groceries and cleaning supplies to the community. All you have to do is drive through. We give you some bags and you keep moving. So we're thankful for Convoy of Hope donating so many things to the community. So just lots of things like that are on the calendar, tons of stuff to do. Students know about all these things through their Welcome Week groups, but also through the student portal. We advertise those things. So that's pretty exciting for that first week. Yeah. So the energy starts in the weekend, but it carries on throughout the week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have tons of sports that happen through the fall, but the football games certainly are big marks on the calendar throughout the fall. So Saturdays starting. Well, I say Saturdays. Our first game is not a Saturday.
It's a Thursday night football.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, the 27th we play William Woods University at Placer Stadium, 6 p.m. on August the 27th. That's Thursday night football. Super excited about that. Students love the evening football games. Yeah. One, because it's August and it's brutal.
Nice and a little bit cooler when it's nighttime.
It's brutal. Yesterday was 100 degrees, so it's just going to be hot this week. But we get to August 27th, get to 6 p.m. Hope it's a little bit cooler. But a night game under the lights should be a lot of fun.
And then I'll mention a few, visit events for us throughout the fall are huge. Students can come any Monday through Saturday, for the most part, unless there's like a holiday, Labor Day. Obviously, we don't have visits available, but personal visits throughout the year can happen during that time. But we also do events. So our first fall event is Preview Day, and that's September, I don't want to get it wrong, 21st. So that's a Monday, September 21st. I like that one because it's on a Monday where students can go to chapel. Yeah. Sometimes we do these on Fridays or Saturdays, but September 21st
It's okay.
It's okay. Juniors, seniors, that's a great event to come and get a chance to see campus. And we're doing a new thing this year. Every Monday in October, to what I mentioned on Mondays being great, that students can experience chapel. Every Monday in October, we're going to call Monday at SBU.
Great.
And there'll be sort of mini visit events that have a chance to go to chapel, meet with faculty members, have lunch. So we're excited to try that this year and see if it maybe draws in some more students. There's a lot of school districts around the area that don't have school on Mondays. They're just 4-day weeks. And so you've got a lot of schools and students that are already off on Mondays. And we're hoping that maybe that could be a good match.
Yeah. And I know that our Fridays, they're letting school out early here.
Oliver's getting out an hour early this year too, for sure.
Yeah.
And then non-student related, non-campus related, some of the other things that we work on a lot are external constituents and supporters and friends of SBU. And so one of our biggest relationships is with the Missouri Baptist Convention.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things coming up this fall related to that. One later this month, and then the actual state convention in October, which will be in St. Charles.
Right.
But yeah, coming up, you're going to be going to Jeff City.
So one of the things that, during this interim presidency, however long this lasts, and we don't have any idea how long this will last, but one of the things I want to champion is the fact that we are a Missouri Baptist school. We are accountable to the Missouri Baptist churches. We report to the Missouri Baptist Convention. The executive committee, our trustees, are appointed by the Missouri Baptist churches to oversee us. And I love that system. I think it's been used by the Lord since its existence to help keep institutions faithful and grounded and pointing in the right direction. So I am thankful to be involved we both go to a Missouri Baptist, Southern Baptist church. And I'm thankful to be involved at the church level, but also to be working at a Missouri Baptist institution. So one of the things that we do is we give reports to them on a regular basis. It's not merely at the October meeting, so there are other meetings to be at. So August 24th, I'll be in Jefferson City, which is where the Missouri Baptist headquarters is. And so I'll go up there on the 24th and meet with two different groups. One is the Entity Relations Committee. And so we'll talk to them, give a little report, answer some questions, I'm sure, about enrollment and finances and budgets and giving and plans, the future, all that stuff. So we'll talk to them and it's a little smaller group. And so I'll sit in a room and answer as best I can, at that point, having been in the seat maybe 3 weeks. So I'm sure they'll be gracious. But then after that, there's also a report to a kind of a larger group called the Executive Committee. And so I'll give a presentation. We've actually, you and I and Leon Worth, our Vice President of Advancement, Elise Wilson, Executive Coordinator for the President's Office. We've already been working on reports for that, PowerPoints for that, and what we want to put in front of them to highlight both the things to celebrate and maybe challenges as well. We want to be transparent. And so looking forward to being with those leaders, those pastors, and those members of those committees to tell them the good story, the good things that are going on here at SBU in the exciting days ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the Missouri Baptist Convention means a lot to SBU and SBU to the convention. So it's a really strong relationship.
The president, so you have some people get confused. Like there's Wes Fowler, who's the executive director of the Missouri Baptist Convention. And what that means is day-to-day operations. He's overseeing the staff, all the stuff that's going on at that executive level. But then you have a president of the convention that's elected every couple of years by the convention. And that's just a 2-year role. And it doesn't really govern the day-to-day, but kind of sets some trajectories and highlights some things, does some appointing of people in different positions. His name is Wesley Vance. So two Wes's. Wes Fowler, executive director, so that's his day-to-day job year in and year out. And then Wesley Vance, who is one of the pastors down at Crossway in Springfield. He's the current president. I think this is his last year's president. He's going to be here next Wednesday just to spend some time together. He's going to go to chapel. I'm preaching in chapel next Wednesday, so he'll be here. So just trying to maintain. I've talked to Wes Fowler on the phone as I've kind of stepped into this position. Wes Vance and I have talked. He's coming to see me to help me think through some things. So we have a good relationship with our convention leaders, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, we will keep talking about events as we go through the year because there's not going to be a lack of things to do or talk about. So excited for that. Excited to just really get the year going. I mean, to your point, it's going. I mean, they're still meeting behind us with kickoff for student leaders, but tomorrow is just a big day. So seeing campus full will be exciting. Seeing the dining hall full will be exciting. And this is our favorite time of year.
Yeah, ready to
Get
go.
things going.
Onward.
Yes, right. Rooted and ready.
Rooted and ready. That's
Onward.
right.
Good stuff. Well, we will catch you guys next week. We'll start bringing in some guests as we go through the semester. As always, have some great outside speakers coming to chapel. Our faculty and staff will want to highlight. So looking forward to some of those later as we go through. And thank you, as always, for watching and listening.